This is the last time this season at home that Coach Jim Tressel and I will talk after a football game. How many times did you hear that this week? Head coach of the Buckeyes, you got seniors going out, 16 of them, and all of them thinking about, wow, this is the last time I'm going to do something.
And, you know, this group especially seemed to be very sentimental, very emotional about, you know, what it meant to them to play at Ohio State, and this was a neat senior week.
You don't have to do anything to crank up the emotions when this kind of day comes along. What's going through your head as guys like Rob Sims are coming up and talking to you here?
Well, you know, the whole time you've been with them flashes through your mind, all the way to when you visited their high school and their home, and you know, the whole thing, it's incredible.
Awesome stuff. And then you got to play a football game, and you needed your defense to settle down a little bit. They did. It took them a little while, though. Tyler Everett in on the sack. Dante Whitner right there.
Our guys are nonstop, and you know, they made some plays. We'll give them credit, and they moved the ball down. We needed to get a little tempo here, and they had their little boot play, and Bobby's got it contained, and the guy they faked to actually is the one that leaked out, that tailback there, and so they got the 7-0 start, but that was about it for the day.
Yeah, straight down the field for 80 yards. No question about it for the day, and you knew they were never going to kick deep to you pretty much.
No, they weren't going to kick it to Teddy, and that's why Daryl Hazel moved Santonio up where he did. We knew they were going to pooch it. And when you get to start with the ball on the plus side of the field, you're going to have a chance to go score some points.
Well, your possession started plus 45, plus 29 in your second possession, and you know, a turnover coming up here on the special teams play. But great field position from the start.
It really was, and it was nice seeing us go down the field and run the football straight down the field. A couple pass plays, of course, Troy stepped up, but it was good to get in the end zone that first drive and match their 7-pointer.
I'm talking about stepping up right there. Troy Smith on the keep on 3rd and goal. It's in for a touchdown. Tie game at 7 apiece. Good to have an answer.
Well, it really was, because it took a little bit of the wind out of their sails, and here you see Santonio on a nice little post route there that became a big play in the beginning of the next drive. 22
yards complete, and then 8 more complete to Ted Ginn Jr. on a 3rd and 6. He goes possession receiver on you there.
Yep, that was good, and it was good to see Troy find Teddy there, and then we outflanked him a little bit. Mo Wells leading Troy around the corner, and you know, getting them up 14-7. You could see that Ohio Stadium was going to take over at that point.
Yeah, you definitely like the look of that. 14-7 the count. Punt safe or punt block?
I'll tell you, it was punt safe, but we talked all week that we've got some pretty big guys on defense, and it's great to see AJ getting in the end zone there, and you know, he's the best there is.
I mean, as a senior to go out the way he did, you can't draw it up too much better. D back at work, but Brett Bassinet is going to throw it down the field a little, try to stretch you.
Yeah, and Tyler Everett almost had a pick there, and here's the defense. Anthony Schlegel making the tackle for loss, and our guys are starting to take command.
Loss of 2 on that play. Now we flip it over to offense, and are you on speaking terms now with Antonio Pittman? This is the run. He goes over 1,000.
Is that it? Well, you know, he got a little bit of a hit pointer early in the game and came back and played well, and he's got a little over 1,100 now, and we need him every week to hit the century mark. And Troy showed good patience there, finding Teddy on the outcut, and we're moving the ball, both run and pass.
Yeah, 14 on the run, 19 on the pass complete. And as you go back on D, Ashton Yabodi, a little wrestling match here.
Well, I'll tell you, it was a heck of a play, and I really didn't see the play unfold. We were talking about some offensive things, and all of a sudden, all I saw was they were wrestling on the ground, and then they reviewed it and so forth. But we get the ball back, and again, Antonio Pittman ripping them off.
Yeah, back in the game, and picks up 16 yards on a 1st and 10 play. And then Maurice Wells, as you mix it up a little bit, Wells has a nose for the end zone on this play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mo Wells, I mentioned during the course of the week, I really thought he was coming along as this week went forward, and to me, it was probably the best week of practice he had from a confidence standpoint. He looked like he really had a grasp on what we needed done, and it was neat to see.
Well, you talk about your defense and Brett Bassinet and what he's done to some other offenses, and you have to get after a guy like that, but be careful doing it. They got Terrell Sutton, who slips out of the backfield and gets a touchdown there. Does it start and end with Bassinet? You got to affect him?
Well, he's the start, and really our defense, their whole thing is if they can stop the run and affect the quarterback, the rest will take care of itself, and they did just that. Bassinet had to throw it just a little sooner than he was accustomed to throwing it.
First drive, a wake-up call, because they settled down after that, didn't give up anything after the first drive of the game.
Yeah, and really, who knows what that was, whether it was tempo or whether it was the emotions of the seniors still kind of, you know, they were in a little bit of a emotional state and so forth. You know, who knows exactly, but I know this, the rest of the drives of the day, our defense was in charge.
It's kind of it's got to be a favorite way to go through a first half. You get some good defensive plays. You get a special teams touchdown. You know, you could throw in a defensive touchdown, I guess, but a couple of nice offensive drives and things like that, and a nice lead.
And when you can run the ball and you can throw the ball both, and you have a little balance, and they're struggling against your defense, and you can see your defense is getting stronger. You know, we felt good at halftime, but remember, it was 27-14 or something like that last week with Iowa and them, or 24-7 maybe. Yeah. Iowa was ahead of them, so we reminded ourselves of that, and I thought our guys came out and went right back to work.
It was both of those, 27-14 at one point after that, and they lost 28-27. So
yep.
you know you have to be aware of that, and the Buckeyes would be. A special second half at the Horseshoe. Football Weekly, and heading towards the second half, Ohio State on top of Northwestern 28-7, and you know, no halftime speeches needed, no pregame speeches needed, especially when you have some of the guys, alums coming around like Will Smith, you know, your honorary captain.
Will was tremendous. He, you know, just talked to the guys about making sure they were prepared and how fortunate they were to play here at Ohio Stadium, and he comes back every chance he can get, and he's having an excellent NFL career, and he was so excited to be here.
Well, that's a nice touch there, and we talk about him at halftime with the seniors, you know, making big plays all day long, and A.J. Hawk with another one. Ashton Yeboah to the recovery.
Well, that was huge. You know, we said we had to force some turnovers, and you know, unfortunately here we didn't cash in as well as we would have liked. We stepped up here, and Troy did a good job running it, but I don't know that you know, we were as good as we should have been, but we got the 3 points, and Josh Houston has been super all year long, and you know, you can really count on him to knock it through.
Almost fitting that senior, 50 or 60-year senior Josh Houston gets a chance to hit one in a game like this.
And really ended up getting 2, and then our defense got the ball back, and there's Antonio Pittman again, and we're moving it down the field. And they hit a nice trap play. This was probably the key play in this drive, because this was an 80-yard drive. It ended up being with only 6 or 7 plays, and when you hit big ones like that, you've got a heck of a chance. And there's a little screen back to Santonio Holmes, and great job by Doug Daddish getting out in front, and all of a sudden we have the ball on the 5-yard line, you know, 4 plays into the drive.
Yeah, well, you get 14 on the run from Pittman, another 24 tacked on there, 20 complete to Holmes, and then from 4 yards out, Antonio Pittman.
That was a good job up front, and just a little toss sweep, and Antonio's now getting a little more used to getting in the end zone.
That he is, and it's a 38-7 lead for Ohio State, and just piling on a little more, that's Bobby Carpenter, and then you're going to have Dante Whitner.
Tell you what, our guys got a great feel for what they were trying to do, and you know, I think they really felt confident as time went on.
Albert Dukes getting into the act here, back on offense, 3rd and 9.
It was a heck of a job by Justin there. They had a free safety blitz on, and we really had no one to block them, and Justin stood in there and let the ball go right on time to Albert, and that was a big 3rd and 9 conversion. And
no question it was, and you know, you get Justin Zwick into the game in the 3rd quarter of this one. You end up playing 3 quarterbacks by the time it's done. Maurice Wells, your 2nd tailback there as well. You're going to have a 3rd tailback coming up here into the game as well.
Yeah, after Josh gives us 3 more, and I think he's got to be up near 20 field goals by now, doesn't he? And
yeah, he is.
The only ones he's missed have been those 50-yard type ones, and we do get a chance to get a lot of guys into the game.
Yeah, just a few in that category as well. Really can't complain with what he's been able to do. That's 18 yards on the keep. Brett Bazinet out of the game at this point in it, but you know, like you said, you're rolling a lot of guys in there. You don't always get a chance to do that.
No, that's right. And there's Chick Harley, senior, getting to come in there and make a big tackle for loss, and that was exciting for him.
Great grandnephew.
That's right. That's right.
Bob Harley.
A.J. Hawk with another tackle for loss, and A.J. just keeps piling up the numbers.
Yep. 8-yard loss on that play, and then back on offense, it's Maurice Wells. Going to rip it off for 9 yards.
Little draw play, and again, I think Mo Wells is getting a little more comfortable, and as you're going down the stretch and getting into the big game, you've got to be with everyone, and here you see Brandon Smith making a catch and getting us about 16 or 17, I think, and you know, moving the ball down very efficiently.
And Justin Zwick directs a touchdown scoring drive. Eric Hall, your 3rd tailback, local product, in from the 3 for a touchdown, and it's 48-7 Ohio State.
well, that was a heck of a job. He had good low pad level, and if we can go up to Ann Arbor with 3 tailbacks who can get it done. And here you see the seniors being brought out of the game on defense one at a time, and the crowd really appreciated them. The roar was a lot of fun when each of those kids came out.
Well, it's also great when you have a game set up, a situation like that, because it doesn't always happen that way on senior day to have them come off and be recognized. They enjoyed it.
It really doesn't. In fact, a year ago, senior day, I think, was an awful tight one, and Will Smith was telling us he remembered his senior day because it was an overtime win over Purdue.
Yeah.
And so we've had some battles on senior day, and it was fun to get them out of there and get the recognition, and then begin thinking about the big one.
Yeah, well, the offense puts up 40+ again, or the team puts up 40+ again, and the defense gets recognized there with the guys coming off. So they're saying, hey, what about us? You know, they're playing pretty well.
Yeah, they really are, and it was great timing, and I think our crowd really has appreciated the way that our guys have played defense all year long, and we need one more big defensive effort this next Saturday.
And that screen throwback to Santonio Holmes, is that a new play?
Yeah, it's a little bit new, and we're trying to find as many ways we can possibly to get Santonio the football, because when he gets the ball, he can do something with it.
Well, this is the time of the year to break out some new things. Have these been good tune-up games leading to the big one?
I don't know if tune-up is the right word, opportunity to get better. Because you have to be at your best in the 3rd Saturday in November.
Well, certainly one more chance to do that when we come back. Anthony Schlegel, our Buckeye profile, and we have more straight ahead after this.